Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the things that you need to do for the next month-long event, the Great White North for the Homeward Bound month of June. And for all of you Cabal fans, well, apparently they're going to be honorary Canadians this week because you're going to get some bonus points by using them in Cosmic Crucible. We're going to be talking about spending your ISO 8 energy and talking about spending cores, and the beloved Blitz mode is back once again for this event. So in this video, we'll be talking about everything you need to do to get as far as you can, and the great news is that you don't actually need to spend power cores if you don't want to. But we'll talk about all that and more in this video, so if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, before we get started with the event here today, let's do a little bit of a recap here of week 2 of the month of June events. Now, of course, Dakin is up for grabs with a total of 100 shards. Now, at this point in time, I would assume that you probably have a 3-star of them if you did stuff from the last event where they were giving out shards for that. And actually, it's over here. So you should have passed 200k, which is where the shard mark would have been for basically a 3-star for you to get the extra points from the Mercs for Money Blitz event thing on the weekend. Hopefully you're doing that as well to get some extra gold. But as far as where we're going, this is pretty good. I think that they're shooting well above 800k this time. Like, I don't remember, I didn't keep track of May actually because I was still on holidays at that time. But they're going well above 800k this time around, which is actually a good thing. Zoom in a little bit more. So as of all of the stuff that we've recorded just up till the end of week 2, we're only 152k away from the goal, which is really good because if you look at week 2, you're basically getting about 170k. So by the end of week 3, it could be finished at 800,000. And so what that means to me is that all of this extra points is them trying to separate the leaderboard even more as far as the rankings go, because now, you know, they are a bit more specific in their rewards, and even the 1 to 2% has crimson gear orbs. Now it's only like 24 orbs, but it does contain a diamond orb, so they're adding a little bit more into that 1 to 2% mark, which typically is like that top 6,000 or so of players. So they're going to need to separate that a little bit more in terms of the overall points and how you can score that and whatnot. But anyways, before we get to the Great White North, I do want to talk about the alliance-based event, which will be starting as well. So that's going to be whiteout. So this one here, let's move over to the full screen. And so, you know, honestly, I talked about this on the blog post, and it was kind of the blog video. I mean, fair enough if you need these shards, but they're giving away Wolverine, Deadpool, and Deathpool shards, and it just feels like, you know, for most people this is Ultimates food, but even for newer players, it's not that great, honestly. But the funny thing is that Wolverine's actually a bit of a slow farm, I will admit, because you're only getting 5 shards per day. And this was raised in the Envoy server, actually, because 810 shards to max divided by 5 is actually 162 days. Now, what's interesting about that, though, is because, well, you could probably now get level 100 before that. Or at least for me, maybe not. I mean, like, I'm level 94 on my alt account, and I think I'm under 4 months still. So I definitely do not have a 7-star Wolverine. Does this really matter, though, in the long terms? Maybe. I mean, that's cutting out, I don't know, 7 days worth of Wolverine shards, for better or for worse. And then you get the usual stuff that are in here. We might be able to get to the 10 Dakin shards. And the reason why I believe that is because there's a limit of 430k for your war battles. That's typically, I think it's like, honestly, it's just 430,000 divided by 3 wars. It was just 6 days. I think it should still be 3 wars, right? So that divided by, per war, divided by 24 players, divided by 600. So it's like less than 10, it's about 10 attacks for all your members every single war. Now, does everyone do that? Not necessarily. However, if some players do more than 10 per war, then that'll help you kind of mitigate some of the other people who are not really doing all of that. Anyways, assuming you're doing the 430,000, I think we normally get about 500 fragments per day per player, right? And so that times 6 plus 430, maybe not. You know, that's about 502k. So it's not quite milestone 16. It is milestone 15, but not 16 for the Dakin shard. So if we do get that, it'll be very extraordinary, but I don't think it's very likely. So everything else, I guess, looks okay, but the rest, of course, milestone 16 onwards does not look free to play possible. Now, moving on to the Great White North. There is. I just want to look at the kind of the rewards here very quickly. It's actually not very good. I got to admit, there's some gold sprinkled in here, like 300k up here, 700k here, which is fine. We'll get that. There's a little bit of actually there's 500k there, so that's 1.5 million over here across this. There's some blue 4 ions, of course, scattered around, and so it's like it's good for new players, but honestly, there's not a whole lot here other than the month-long points to really go ham for. There is 2 million gold here at this milestone. We'll talk about this one because it is free to play viable, but I mean, if you don't want to core, if you don't core, you're not going to get it. Let's put it that way. And I don't think that you really need to core. It depends on how much you value this 2 million gold drop for the amount of cores that you need to spend to get there. We'll talk about that though. And of course, you're going to get points through, like I said, ISO 8 energy, Cabal, and CC, and bonus points if their star level is higher. Notice that it does not include Namor. It is only Iron Patriot and Leader, and you do get points for spending power cores. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because Guardian is going to be going live on Friday. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. So if you are someone who is going to be coring for Guardian like I am, because I said that I was going to, it's not, this is very specific because it's Alpha Flight. They're Canadian. I was like, okay, Boilon's going to do it. That's the only reason why. But if you are going to do that as well, because also for the spotlight raids and whatnot, then you're going to get a crap ton of core points towards this event. And you definitely do not need to really go ham on your ISO 8 energy. So do keep that in mind as well. But for the most part, we'll be going into the consideration that you're not going to core, but there is a scenario where if you do a little bit, at least in the ISO 8 energy, how many you're spending on Guardian, that's entirely up to you. So let's talk about the event here now. So let's zoom into the maximum that we can get in. The Great White North, it's a 7-day event involving that stuff we already talked about. Total milestone points is 240k, and that includes whale stones. The event item can be got at 54,000, and that's pretty early on, honestly. When you take a look at some of the easy stuff to get points, there is 97,000 event currency, of which you can get all of that at 69,000. So it's not just the event item. You do want to get to milestone 13 for the 69k milestone point mark so that you can get all of the rest of the event currency. The free claims, we don't know yet. Usually it's somewhere between 500 and 1,000 points a day. The total web milestone points is 29,000 though, and this is a lot to go towards the event milestone points. You know, that's it, and this is basically the blitz part of it. I'm going to bring it up really quickly here on the web milestone so you can see it for yourself. Dog tags, there's some promo credit stuff, and then most of it's the milestone points. And this is equivalent of 2 to 3 blitz rotations per day with 50 team wins. Now you can, blitz more to get this done quicker, because it is a 7-day web milestone. It's not a daily milestone that repeats. And I am including the 750 blitz credits that you do get from your daily objective. So I've already subtracted that. And so it is about 2 to 3 blitz rotations a day. If you don't have that many teams, then it will be a little bit more for you if you're a newer mid-game player. So just keep that in mind. Try to do as many wins as you possibly can, though. Then the points is as follows, which we saw on the chart. So 4 points for ISO 8 energy, 4,500 per Cabal character. This is really just like one full team usage, honestly, because it's 3 characters. And so that's 13,500. We'll include that. That's fine. The rest of this, I don't know. Like, cause to be honest, I do have a 5-star leader, but I don't have a 5-star Iron Patriot. So free to play wise, you kind of need to be lucky in order to get that. So if you do have a 5-star on any of them, that's an extra 4,500 points for you, and that will definitely help you get through this one. Now, you do get 6 points per power core spent, though I am doing this without spending power cores on ISO 8 energy. So if you do your 200 cores daily in ISO 8 energy, you're going to get double benefits. You're going to get the ISO 8 energy spent per 4 points and the per 6 power cores. But I'm not doing that. But we'll take a look down below. I have instances where if you are doing that, what kind of milestone points you will get. It's actually not a whole lot more. Anyways, this is your ISO 8 energy. So there's a total of 360 time-based energy because it does refresh faster than standard campaign energy. You do get 240 from your 380 refreshes. You get 1 free ISO pack, energy pack refresh per day from the villain's objective, the villain's campaign objective thing, and then 50 from the web milestone. So that's 770 if you don't do any additional cores. If I were to add in 360, the points would change because that would be additional refreshes and whatnot. But for the purposes of this, you can actually see how if you were to do an additional 150 cores per day into the ISO 8 energy, actually it gives you an extra 10,000 points basically over the 7 days. So that's interesting, but I've already included that down below anyways. So points over 7 days for the ISO 8 is 21.5k. So the reasonable point total then for no coring would be this. It would be the 13.5, and it would be the 29,000 over here, plus free claims, which we don't know yet, but it will bump us up probably an extra at least 3,500 points, if not a little bit more. But anyways, with the free claim, you will get milestone 13. This brings you to 64,000 points. Now, this is just shy of where's the event? 64,000 is just shy of milestone 13, which is 66,000. But I can guarantee you that with the free claim that you'll get there. So that's not a problem. So this is without coring anything at all. You'll get milestone 13, and that's all of the event currency, and you're good to go there. Now, if you do 200 cores daily, aka if you're doing that into the ISO 8 energy or wherever you're spending your ISO 8, I'm assuming that it's going into the ISO 8 energy because you're going to get, the 4 points per ISO energy and then the 6 per core. But, maybe you're not. If you are, that is going to get you to about 83,000, and this is going to get you to milestone 14 and the 2 million gold. So really at the end of the day is your 150, 200 cores daily times 7. So like 1,300, 1,400 cores. Is that worth 2 million gold for you? If it is, then do it. And actually, if you have a 5-star Iron Patriot or leader, you don't need to core as much to get there. And so 2 million is okay, but I actually think that my 1,200 to 1,400 cores is actually more valuable than 2 million gold. I don't really have a huge gold problem. And so that's 2 more orbs for my Guardian. But hey, that's just me. And so if you were to, in a way, you could actually it's not going to, completely make up the difference. But if you were to spend that same cores doing, I don't know, Guardian orbs, you would get more points, but it's not going to completely bridge the gap, but it would help a little bit anyways. It just depends. If you're already going to go into Guardian and you're going to burn cores on getting them like I am, then you have no problems getting that 2 million. In terms of like how far could you get, I think it depends on how many cores you're spending to get Guardian unlocked, because you could get this 2 million gold here at 80,000 and then this 3 million gold at 131k hypothetically, because if I'm spending the worst luck, right, 10,000 times 6, that's 60,000 points, plus this 124 plus the free claim, like you might get you there to 130k, to 130k, because you do get 6 points per power core spent. So if you are someone who is going all the way on Guardian, maybe you might be really close to this milestone 17 with the 3 million gold. However, unfortunately, there is no Crimson gear until milestone 18, which is why, and it's only just 200 Crimson basic catalyst parts, which isn't actually worth that much in terms of gold. It's really disappointing that they haven't even just started lowering it to like milestone like 14 or something, 15, where, average free-to-play players can get just a little bit. They're being really stingy on this still, even after like however many months it's been now since this come out. I hope that they change this in the near future, though. Anyways, some final notes for this event, though. The event item is obtainable without any power core spending. If you do want the 2 million gold for milestone 14, you will want to do the 200 cores daily. Keep in mind that Guardian is released on Friday for cores, so if you plan to unlock them, then you'll very likely get way more points from this anyways, and you don't need to do that ISO 8 energy stuff. This event also has no leaderboard, so there isn't really that many reasons to push hard. The rewards in there is not super amazing, so it's entirely up to you how far you want to go in this. So I've given you all the tools that you need to accomplish this week's event, the Great White North and Cabal as the honorary Canadians apparently for this week. And yeah, that's it for this video. Of course, when the event goes live, I will be posting the event sheets in my Discord server. So if you're not a member of the Discord server, make sure you join, and there's some links in the description down below for that as well. And if you haven't by now, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. There's like 50% of you out there watching my videos who are not subscribed to my channel. I probably should have said this at the start, and maybe I will the next time as well if I remember. So that's going to be it for now. That's going to be it. That is it for now. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon, signing out.